Well, hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're not going to have this foolishness today. Come on, internet gods. Do your big thing. Come on, internet gods. Thank you, baby girl Lilibet. Sound is on. Screen is a little one. Okay, thank you. All right, all right, all right. Okay, we're going to get it together. We will get it together. Thank you all for being here today. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. There's a little bit of guys, let me keep it a buck. Here's the thing. Let me keep it a buck. Just like the same thing when COVID happened, I saw them putting in new 5G like equipment in the ground. Well, the same thing is happening around me now. All of a sudden they have to dig up, and what do you think that they are putting? It's given some sort of fiber optics 6 7 8G technology, and I'm not even in the same state. How is that possible that everywhere that that I am, the internet gods are just so happen to be updating things? Guys, when you are a chosen, this is what it means to be a chosen one. When you're a chosen one, you know it because, it's given that the whole world could be an op, or you'll find yourself in situations where it feels like there's a whole system trying to oppress you. You guys know what I'm saying. But that ain't going to happen, baby. I am so happy to be here with you all today. Welcome back to Instructions for Humanity, Spirit of Consciousness. It is your girl, Tahira, Mother of the Ages. I am a supernatural quantum telepathic healer, a hypnotherapist by trade. I specialize in past life regression therapy, where I lead you to an old timeline that will help you live a better life in this timeline, because we have to see what the polarity in order to transcend the duality focal point. This is the only true way out of the matrix, because Other than that, your soul will call you back to finish the job. So in this lifetime, we finish the job. We don't have to be perfect, but we do have to be on a healing journey. If you're interested in booking any sessions with me, you can go to instructions number 4 humanity@gmail.com. There's some links down below. You can take advantage of my signature session, the quantum telepathic hypnosis session. Yes, with past life regression and entity removal. And guys, it is almost time. It is almost time for us to roll out this Saturday. The Quantum Telepathic Healing and Psychic Development course. I am so happy to be your teacher, everyone who has enrolled in the course. And Source told me there are 3 more people coming. There could be 3 to 5. And so I have to say this, there's 3 to 5 more people. You've been on the fence. You are wondering, can I do this? Am I really capable of learning this? Can I do this? Should I do this? I know that I have these gifts, but am I ready to come out of the spiritual closet, right? And I'm here to tell you that we are going to all, be there for each other. We're going to love on each other. We are going to heal the collective together, because part of when I take you guys through, learning over 20 different quantum healing modalities, guys, then you will we will do sessions where we heal the collective and where we will train our spiritual eyes and all of our spiritual centers to pick up this telepathic communication, not just within the group, but within the collective soul body as well. So there's 3 to 5 more of you coming. Student logins have already went out. Guys, this is 6 weeks of content, over 24 video lessons by myself, over 350 pages of workbook information. There's audio workbooks as well. And we are going to do a lot of activations. Part of what I do, I'm an activator. So we're going to do third eye activation, light language activation. We're going to do a lot of guided hypnosis activations as well. See, part of why you guys, it's not just, oh, my third eye is, calcifier. No, guys. No. It's because you need an activator. And so this is what this class is going to do. So I'm going to activate it with some hypnosis, meditations, take you guys on a visual journey to so you can learn what these things look like, smell like, feel like. All we're doing is feeling deeply within our 5 senses. This is your psychic technology. And so for the 3 to 5 more people that Source says is coming, go ahead and you can book a free 20-minute consultation. The link is down below, or just email me instructions for humanity@gmail.com. And I will I will give you the official flyer. All right, guys. All righty then. Greetings, everyone. Thank you guys for being here. We're going to get into, I'm going to do a channel about Iran. Guys, I've been channeling this for a while. I've been getting Iran like the whole year. And I also started to channel the destruction that would happen over in Gaza. Right. And now, it makes a lot more sense of those messages. And I will tell you what will happen, if there will be retaliation or not, and possibly when that might happen. Right. So we're going to channel all of these things. I do want to say thank you guys for people who knew, who remembered. Right. I laid my father to rest yesterday. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. Everything was beautiful. I mean, it was just beautiful. He looked like royalty, like he is, like our lineage. I got to learn a little bit more about my lineage on my father's side as it pertains to the collective. And so I will be sharing this and some pictures of family and just some pictures of the event as well in the Cosmic Ministry. Thank you guys. If you want to enroll in the Cosmic Ministry, it's a Patreon. The link is down below. Thank you guys for being patient with me. I've been, kind of handling things, mourning and all of that. So I will get back this week to videos and lives and live Zoom meetups in the Cosmic Ministry. But I will be sharing a lot of those things over there. And my dad's mother turned 100. So we had a party for her today. And I got to meet one of my cousins, her first cousin. is 99. So that was quite beautiful. And we look alike. It was crazy. Everyone's like, oh my God, you guys have the same smile. So I'm like, okay, is she like my one of my spirit twins? So I'm like, okay, I think I could live to 99. Girl, she was wearing heels. She had on heels, she had a dress on and a hat. I was like, okay, if I'm like this at 99, she knew how to work that iPhone. I was like, please sign me up for that, right? So thank you guys. And I see a lot of you in the chat right now that have just sent your well wishes either through email or through text message as well. Because, yes, I am friends with a lot of you. We've built relationships. And so I do really appreciate those relationships. And I do want to say, you guys really have helped me through this process. And one thing that my dad's passing taught me, we'll get into the channel in a moment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, right? We'll get into the channel, but one thing that this really did teach me is because the family that you're born with or into may not be the family that you leave out of, right? Because my dad and my mom were married for what, 50 years or more. And we did a lot of things with my mom's side of the family because my dad's side of the family mostly lived in Miami. And so my mom's side of the family, oh my God, they're not even like blood relatives, but they just showed up in mass numbers, like traveled all around the country to come in because my mom was, was of that character, and my dad was right along with her. Everywhere she was, my dad was sure to go. And we'll get into this in the cosmic ministry when I share things. But one thing I will say that I love about my father, Al Bay, is he loved my mother. Now, my father was a very strict disciplinarian, but the way he loved my mother, I have a beautiful story to tell you, but I'll tell you over there. I mean, just to see this like hard, very structured man just love a woman in that way. It is so beautiful. This is the sort of love that I'm looking for. It was definitely unconditional, and there was nothing that she could do or mess up on. He would always love her. And my mother came through in a dream, in a prophetic dream. I saw her. I'll tell you guys over on the cosmic ministry about all of that because it's beautiful. Okay. Like also too, I told you guys I wanted to cut my hair, and I did. I kind of cut it in a bob, but you can't tell because it's curly right now, but I did kind of cut it in a bob. But yeah, it's a new beginning. So that is quite beautiful. Yay. Okay. Oh, I'm so happy to be back here, guys. I'm just so happy to be with you. And I want to talk a little bit about, Trump and the Iran war. One thing I can say, guys, I feel different. Oh, wow. I feel different. I feel different. There's something to be said about your parents, right? Both mom and dad no longer being here. You instantly shift into, now we are the elders. You instantly shift into that. And so it just like I feel so confident being here. So just so open. There's a lot of love flowing through me right now. It's just very, very beautiful. Okay, so let's zone into this. Guys, I'm just a channel for source consciousness. I do not watch anything. I don't know names of these countries or people or leaders. I know nothing. I don't watch the news. I know nothing. Everything is a raw channel. I'm also a conscious channeler. So what that means is as I'm in conversation, I'm picking up awareness and light codes, and I'm transcribing those into the words that I'm speaking with you guys. We need to look deeper into this thing, right? Because, some are saying that, they are telling the military, the US military, that this is a holy war and that we are supposed to go to war with Iran because, it is going to cause an apocalypse and it's going to cause Jesus to come back. So I don't know if this is a real thing, but there are people saying that this is what they're telling some of the military. And, this is why I say religion is dangerous, and I'm so happy that we are deconstructing from religion. Doesn't mean we are deconstructing from God because God is in your DNA, not deconstructing from Christ because Christ is the light. Without it, you would not, would not know the path, right? But we deconstruct from the man-made machine, which got us in these loops and cycles. By the way, they stole some time from us last night because the times changed here, and it's at one point, I don't know, maybe we'll do this in the cosmic ministry. We got to figure out how to get all of our time back. Now, when I think this last year, we had we had felt that there's actually 8 days of the week. It was very interesting. And one of the days were like the days where everything gets like uploaded and downloaded or whatever. So we were calling that sim day. So we got to backtrack and figure out where our time went, because that's part of why we get stuff just like this. How can they now we're getting to the channel. So what Source is saying. How can they make these, because this is a biblical prophecy, right? How can they make these prophecies come true? You see, did you catch that? How can they make the prophecies come true? You can't make a prophecy come true, right? That's the thing. This stuff is not, thank you, Source. These prophecies that they are making come true, these are not from God, but rather from the lesser God, right? There is the Most High, and then there is a lesser God, which a lot of people contribute to the God of the Old Testament. And what that means is the energy of the God that wanted the, baby's blood and killing the newborn children and, death and destruction, and take the virgins for yourself, take the spoils from the war and all that. We know that's not of the Most High. This is a lesser God energy, right? So I just wanted to put it to you like that. There's a lot of lesser God happening, and this is going to be the biggest thing that humanity will have to overcome. And this is speaking from Mother of the Ages. My job here is to simply come here, help humanity wrap up the lessons from the last age, and then it brings us up to a collective vibration that is a bit higher. So we're going to run the show over again within the new age, but now our awareness has been expanded. And then this is how we are kind of getting out as a collective, because it's an individual ascension, but a collective rising. And this is how it talks about in scripture, where everyone is supposedly, after you pass away, you stay dead, and then you all go up, in the clouds, all together. It's giving you a physical, a physical way to describe something metaphysical, right? The metaphysics of it is that we each go through our own ascension. We each clear out our own trauma within ourselves and within our bloodline. And because we are all tether connected on a collective thread, we are the one soul body of Source, right? And when all of us come together on the same vibration through our own individual ascension, now we all rise up collectively. So that is what it's talking about. And so what I want to ground in is what Source is saying, that they are making these prophecies come to pass. And if you make a prophecy come to pass, then it was not from the Most High. It was not from Source. It was not from Source. So question everything, and question everything twice. And you can't make a prophecy come true. A lot of these things have been written by the same people that are eating children and sucking on baby blood. This is the reason for the war as well. We're going to get into it. But a lot of this stuff has been written in biblical scripture, or has been interpreted. A lot of it has been interpreted so many times from the pastors that are on the payroll of the lesser God. They don't know that they are, but that's what's happening. To so much so that it's like the book says one thing, and then how they always, let's change it from the from the Hebrew or from the Greek to this and that. It loses the true substance and meaning. So a lot of that stuff was done through translation, and a lot of it was pushed by the pimpin' pastors who preach the word on Sunday, and they don't know that through repetition we have been rewired to believe that the word says one thing, and it does not. and also the belief in something can Mandela affect the book within itself, right? If you want to probably study the Bible, you may want to pick up the Ethiopian Bible. They're on a different time zone than us. I think they're like I don't know how many years, 10, 12 years behind us. Like they're living in a whole nother timeline. So I say that to say now I want to play this really quickly because let me play this really quickly because I think this will give me a good starting point to start to channel here. Let's bring this. Let's see. I hope it does play. Oh no. Oh no.
The slave
There's
trade
been a
and
little, like I
Iranians should be
said, they're
like
out there
this because
messing around with
Iranians are
stuff.
the ones
Because I
who
can't
freed
hear
your
anything
people
on
the
my
first
end.
time.
Can you
Let me
guys hear? Let
explain.
me
When
know.
you read the Bible, you see people called the Medes
Let
and the
me know.
Persians. Who are the Medes
I
and the
guess I can
Persians
check it on
today?
my end.
Those are the Iranians. And the Iranians had a king. His name was Cyrus. And Cyrus wrote a decree to free the tribe of Judah from Babylon and send them back to Jerusalem, the land they were exiled from, for their disobedience to God. So when you read about Ezra, Nehemiah, Zerubbabel, that was under King Cyrus, who was the Persian king, who is an Iranian. So today, August 2nd, thousands of black people in America are keeping the fast of the 5th month, prophesied by Zechariah to only be kept by the tribe of Judah in gladness and cheerful feast. Now, what are we doing over the next 24 hours? Going out, feeding the poor. Black people who descend from the slave trade and Iranians should be like this because Iranians are the ones who freed your people the first time. Let me explain. When you read the Bible, you see a people called the Medes and the Persians. Who are the Medes and the Persians today? Those are the Iranians. And the Iranians had a king. His name was Cyrus. And Cyrus wrote a decree to free the tribe of Judah from Babylon and send them back to Jerusalem, the land they were exiled from, for their disobedience to God. So when you read about Ezra, Nehemiah, Zerubbabel, that was under King Cyrus, who was the Persian king, who is an Iranian. So today, August 2nd, thousands of black people in America are keeping the fast of the 5th month, prophesied by Zechariah to only be kept by the tribe of Judah in gladness and cheerful feast. Now, what are we doing over the next 24 hours? Going out, feeding the poor, clothing the naked, and uplifting the oppressed. There are those who say they're Jews keeping this fast, but they're keeping it in mourning because this is the day that Herod's and Solomon's temples were both destroyed. But Zechariah said that only the true tribe of Judah would keep the fast in the way that we're about to keep it. So no person who calls themselves a Jew would ever attack the only people whose king declared liberty. Every time you see an Iranian, salute the King Cyrus.
Okay. All right. So, to my suspicion, I feel like there's something deeper happening here. It feels biblical to me. And, I've been kind of out of the loop here for a little bit, but it just gives me a general energy of something biblical. And also I'm like, where do I want to start with this message? Listen, guys, let me tell you what has been happening with humanity since the start of the Israel being fragmented. Let me take you back here. There's something bigger happening. Everything is everything. Remember when we go back, there's a reason why Charlie Kirk situation had to come first. Because remember, they are making biblical prophecies come to pass. We have to get that. This is not coming from God. Some things are of the Most High, but you can't make that happen. So when they take matters into their own hands with falsified documents and falsified wars, then essentially that is not the hand of God anymore. So even if you say, oh my God, the prophecy came to pass. No, source prophecy didn't come to pass. The enemy, maybe man's prophecy came to pass. Maybe Satan's prophecy came to pass. But if you integrate yourself within that, then it is not source God's prophecy. So I wanted us to get that clear, because everyone's like, this came to pass, this came to pass, this came to pass. Now we're just waiting for this. No, it has not. This has been the lesser God. This has not been source prophecy, because they have been making this stuff happen. They've been falsifying the hand of God. That is what source is saying. They've been falsifying the hand of God. And who's doing this? This is Esau. This is Esau. We have to be honest with ourselves of what is happening, right? So we look back at the psychic investigation with Charlie Kirk, and we brought up Candace Owens, and this is why Charlie had to go first, because it was laying a foundation for the energy field. Everything's an energy field. I'm going to do a free conference where I'm going to talk to you more about how to get into a prosperous energy field, how to maintain it, right? How to cleanse it, and how to pick up key codes of consciousness, right? But everything's an energy field. If you can master one thing now, master controlling and cleansing, and you have to purge right now your energy field. That will shift your world if you continuously do it over and over and be consistent. You will shift. It's all about energy field. They needed to cultivate a energy field of death and destruction. How did they do that? Well, they did this so close to 9/11, right? Charlie Kirk was September 10th, and we had September 11th. So the Charlie Kirk situation was already in the vibration of September 11th. You think about September 11th. What was it? Terrorist attack. What do you think is coming next? Because our government took that in their hands. They are the ones who did the 9/11. And then they blamed it on other group. And I think possibly those other group of people took responsibility for it because they're all working together. It's all psyop. All of their children play in a higher sandbox together. Remember that. So they cultivated the 9/11 energy field. What's happening now with them messing around with the internet and installing the 6, 7G, possibly 8G now? They did this right before COVID hit as well. So we're not only in an energy field that is lower fear and just death. We're in a death and destruction and a fear-based energy field because it was that 9/11 field was brought up within the selective soul body. I wanted to say that 9/11 energy was brought up within the collective soul body, but source says it was brought up within the selective soul body. So there are people that have been selected to carry this fear, death, and destruction energy field forward. Charlie Kirk is one of those people. I'm almost getting the vibe that Candace Owens is one of those people. And you can plug into their code and still be fighting for the opposite. Make no mistake about it, because they control the media and they control the narrative and they can spin it. And what they're doing with Candace Owens right now, do you see what they did? And you see why Candace Owens, when we go back, who is she? You have to understand who she is, who her soul is. Rebecca from the Bible, the mother of Jacob and Esau. Esau being who God kind of put in control. This is based off another channel, because of what happened, because of Israel. They were not obeying. They just weren't following the law. They were lawless. And the law back then used to be, the law is the Most High. Like the Most High source is the lawfulness of the universe. Like there is law in the universe. The Christ light is the light that governs source. So, if in the Lion King, when they lift the baby up in the air, then the new, future king, that is how Source reveres the Christ energy and the Christ light, reveres it so much it lifts it high above itself, and it's saying that my son will govern. My son is the light. Who is the son of God? It is the light that precedes all things. The light brings awareness. It's the light so that you can see, and then you have to work within your own conscious to gauge, do I want to do good, or do I want to be separated from the light? Any action against the light can separate you from the Christ. But what they give it, they spit it back to you in these scary, in the church, where you think that there's a man coming out to get you, that, if you don't do everything that, no, it's just you're separated from the light. We could even say this: sin. How they always say sin. Sin is what separates you, but sin is when you decide to lower your energy field, right? So this is the metaphysics, right? So by no means, we can still go to church. We just have to understand that all of these things are happening within us, right? Because you are the dominant force that all of this was built off of. They couldn't even have an earth without your energy, without the chosen ones, right? So I say that to say, let me get back on track. Something biblical is happening. All we're seeing on this earth school somehow, why? It ain't even just about the 12 tribes of Israel, which are still scattered, and those fake false Jews got people and Americans dying in this fake false war because they are falsifying, I'm hearing, the spiritual documents of the Most High. They're going to be going to spiritual court. Baby, I need to get back over on that channel. I need to take these people to spiritual court. They're going to end up, they are in spiritual court right now. We're talking still about Jacob and Esau. And they are fighting tooth and nail, because here's the thing: the 400 years of slavery and captivity was not just about the physical bondage. No, it's an energy field, right? It locked the, so to speak, tribe of, not just the tribe of Judah, but the tribes of Israel into kind of a lower position. And we can look at this at like the all indigenous, races across the world, typically would, be the tribe of Judah, especially here in America and in the Caribbeans, right? And other parts of Africa for sure as well, and Middle East as well. So there's just two bloodlines happening. There's that of Israel, the sons of Jacob, which for a specified period of time, they had themselves, source never separated. They separated themselves when they started being lawless and haughtiness, the arrogance, right? And so I know 400 years seems like a long time, but it's really a blink of an eye in the cosmic sphere realm, right? So we go back to Candace Owens. We're going back into the womb. It's still Jacob and Esau fighting in the womb. It's still the same thing. But when I talk about the energy field, the Charlie Kirk representing Esau, right? And then we had, well, remember him and George Floyd, the whole thing we went through? We kind of had him representing the tribe of Judah in particularly, and what happened to both of them, tribe of Judah and Esau? They both got murdered, so to speak, right? So how does this thing end? See, the devil is a trickster. Don't ever think that it don't even have to go so deep as you accepting a devil oath or anything like that. You could just be working against your own, of what your spirit knows to be true. And you could end up in the hands of the devil, because you have entered the domain. You've entered the lion's den. You've entered into that energy field, which is death and destruction and fear. And the reason why they want a selective group of people in that, and now we know who that selective group of people is. It is the tribe of Judah, all the tribes of Israel, but particularly the tribe of Judah. And that's why I played that TikTok, because what all we're seeing here on the Earth School, how can we hold down the tribe of Judah? Because the tribe of Judah, this is where Yeshua, that people call Jesus, Yeshua or Yahuda or the Christ, same energy, came from. So when they say that, oh, we're going to cause the apocalypse to bring the Christ back, that's not going to be true because, source told me, in fact, the more death and destruction actually does not bring the Christ because what? The energy field is too lowered. Christ can't return in a lowered vibration. And that's why when you do the healing work, right, and you get out of root chakra energy, basic, your basic needs of survival, food, shelter, and clothing, and you get up into the solar plexus and you embody, right, that golden energy. And then now you have this ascension in the heart. This is how the Christ consciousness, awakens through you. The war is in the heart. The battle, like the potent antidote to win any war. A source told me this at I went to the graveyard to make sure everything was okay today, and source told me that everything is in the heart, and if we want to win any war, if you want to heal any trauma, the battle will be found in the heart, because the heart is not only the secret place of the Most High, but the heart is how we can activate light and we can transmute, right? And what is it? Heart being light as a feather, not holding on to stuff. So Candace Owens, guys, is a very important thing to this war. If you don't think that it is, everything is everything. She was saying so much truth. In fact, that we had to create a whole war. Now, was the PSYOP war created solely because Candace Owens was, too much on top of things? No, it's the collective energy, right, that they are fighting against, particularly the tribe of Judah. What happens when Judah wakes up? Judah, the Christ came from Judah. Remember, we've already ran the show on the Lyra star system. Christ, Jesus first entered into physicality on the star system of Lyra. Then these fake Jews did the same thing, because it is the fake Jews that got Americans in this false fake psyop. What they do is they played both sides of the coin. So they told the American government that Iran was going to keep building and getting more and more, missiles and all this stuff, to the point where, maybe America felt that they had to strike before they were strucken down. But it's a lie. It's not true. They want to make, as we learned in the last video that I channeled, they want to consume a lot of that land in the Middle East, across Africa, and even some parts of like Europe. But not like Europe, but it's still kind of like the other countries that may be considered still Middle Eastern, right? From sea to shining sea. It's the same people, manifest destiny. From sea to shining sea, it's the same thing of the conquest. Now, it may seem like I'm all over the place, but I'm not, because you have to just listen to the message. Guys, help this channel grow. We got to do a big one. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's the same people that came here, this manifest destiny nonsense. How you going to manifest your destiny on my land, baby? How you going to manifest your destiny on my ancestral land? How you going to manifest your destiny on indigenous land, which has nothing to do with you? This is why a lot of people that are coming to me now, they're getting messages from Indian, like native Indian tribes, and it's almost hunting, because the ancestral spirit is coming up from the ground. Remember, whatever you put out at the end of the age, it springs back to you. That's the trick. That's how you know it came from the devil. Manifest destiny came from the devil, because you would not be confronted with the same energy back now. If it was truly from source, and source gave something to you, baby, you wouldn't have to still be fighting in the Middle East, fake Israel. You wouldn't be fighting. If source gave you something, why are you fighting for it? When Source wants to give me, when Source told me I want to give you a gift, which was what? The present, the presence, the present moment from God is the gift. When you sit in breath, you can receive that. It's a fruit of the Spirit. When Source wants to give you something, Source gives you fruits of the Spirit. You have to take that and turn it into currency, turn it into reusable fuel, turn it into life force. So I already know that's a lie. Source will never give you no land, something physical. Now, what Source will give you is the fruits of the Spirit, so that greater things you shall do, so that you can now take that and use that as you want to. But that's a lie from the pit of Satan's hell, if there was a hell, girl. There probably is a hell for those people, because that's where they came from. We spoke about it. They live on a negative dimension, and they're just broadcasting their signal here. They're not even here. They're hating from outside the club, if you know what I'm talking about. so going back to Candace Owens, we still have not fixed the fighting in the womb of Jacob and Esau. The manifest destiny is a lie. Greater, they want greater Israel. They want another manifest destiny. Do you know how many people have to die for their manifest destiny? From sea to shining sea, that's what they want over there. They want so much land over there in Israel. It's not just about them having Palestine. It was never about that. Because they knew if they get Palestine, then they could do the rest of their plan. And they play two sides. Everything they told you is a lie. I have to just say it. 9/11 was a lie. They've been doing this stuff since Lyra. I'm telling you, here's the thing. I'm going to cut through the whole channel and tell you just like this. What they are at war with, we can say the tribe of Judah, but particularly they're looking for one man and one man only. It's the Christ. And they've been looking at this since Lyra. And it was the same people who colluded. Lyrians colluded, and it was a lie that they were attacked by another group of star system. Were they still attacked? Yes, but it was an inside job. There were some people that were selected, as Source said, within the group. They put together an elaborate lie, and they allowed the attack to happen, allowing the star system to implode through war. And now they're doing the same thing here, going back to the Holocaust, where what was the channel? Is that it was the same people, that they were holocausting themselves. They did it to themselves. Those Jewish people, so to speak, were also other Jewish people smurdering them. It's the same play from Lyra, because what do they want? It's all about the Jacob and Esau still fighting. It did not start with Rebecca carrying the two, children in the womb. It started from another star system when the light of Source, which is the Christ light, first embodied physicality on Lyra. Do you know how much power that is, especially outside of this 3D realm? How much power see, a lot of people will be jealous of your spiritual gifts, and that's strange, but you have no idea what people will do when you have spiritual gifts. They get so, they don't like it. They don't like your light. They didn't like his light from the moment he stepped into physicality. They would ruin a whole star system, a whole planet, just to destroy and stump out the Christ light, which is AKA Judah. So now, after that fell, then we get what? Some fallen angels. Because of the energy field has fallen, and I can't get up. The energy field has fallen, girl. And so now you get fallen angels. And now when they say, what's happening? Who are these people eating all these babies? Fallen angels from the Lyra star system, because they were trying to snuff out the Christ light and kill it. You can't kill what source has anointed, as the pastor would say. But I like to explain it as, holding Simba up, if that's his name. Hey, this is going to be the next king, holding it up high because you're proud of it. That's what the Christ is. You can't stump it out because the Most High lifted it up, allowing it to shine, putting it in that position to even shine in the first place. You can't get rid of the light because source is infinite. That's what they do not understand. So it's the same thing. They keep coming up with these fabricated stories. This person's doing something to you. We got to attack before they do. No, it's you doing it to yourself. You're killing your own people, and then you're blaming it on someone else. That's it. And they've just been doing that and repeating it, because it's not just solely about Judah. No, it's not just solely about, all tribes of Israel, which are still scattered. But the most important is Judah, the tribe of Judah, that Yehuda, Utah. That's why Charlie Kirk, the incident, PSYOP, happened in Utah, because Utah is actually the land of Judah. The Judeans are the, so to speak, Black Americans. We are the tribe of Judah. The Christ was in this tribe. It brings a whole new level of understanding to slavery when you understand it like that. They're looking to stump out the Christ light. And the Christ light, the Christ, Yeshua, was from the tribe of Judah. So now you see why the captivity had to be as strong as it was, because if they allowed the Christ light to rise again, then they would, I don't know why I still to this day don't know why they don't want that. Probably because they can't vibrate on that level. They can't vibrate on that level. It's just that simple. And your light will irritate people's demons. That's just kind of what it is. And we don't have to overcomplicate this thing, because it's not complicated. It's jealousy. That's the truth. And I didn't even know it would be like jealousy in the spirit, but that's what it's given. It's jealousy. But what they are looking for, the whole purpose is to stump out Judah, but particularly the Christ. That is what we're looking at. So in a way, it makes sense of why you have to oppress a certain group of people. It's not because necessarily that they need you. They could oppress anyone to have their hierarchy of capitalism. And they could oppress other Black races as well. But the reason why is because Judah holds codes, the Christ consciousness codes. So this is why this group of people have been suppressed. And this is the channel, right? This is from source. So it's all to stump out the true Judaic light, the Christ light. Because if you have the light, then you have the truth. And if you know the truth, then you have the way. They say no one gets to the Father except through Jesus, because he's the way, the truth, and the light. Well, this is what source is saying. This is the metaphysics of why they say that. It's not some scary man or scary story. It is not. It's energy. It's energy fields, right? If you have the light, then you naturally have truth, because you can see. If you have truth, then you have the blueprint, you got the manuscript. you know which way to go. And they don't want their supper getting away from them. It's, it's that simple. It's truly that simple. I know we thought there was some elaborate plan. It's jealousy, it's envy, it's needing to lower the Christ light so that they can continue to thrive. They can continue to exist. Where do they exist? Within the negative thought forms and negative thought loops, because they are bodiless. They are non-corporeal spirits. They don't have body. So that's why they attack your mind. Why do you think mental illness is at an all-time high? Because of the archonic energy that they put out through these frequency blasts, which is very heavily and prevalent right now. And it's just that simple. They just have to feast. I can't even overcomplicate this message. I don't think that there's a need to. My channels are getting just a lot faster. They truly are. So now what I am going to do, like the video, guys, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Now what I would like to do, I'm going to do some channeling through my light language. And light language, guys, is a spiritual language where it's just a secret communication, right? I just so happen to know how to transcribe mine. So I'm going to start that, and then I'm going to pick up more messages. Okay? Miro ambasambora simborata. Imbora simbora, ambora sambora sinkara. Ambora samuro sungara simbota. Sambota muro singara bora. Ambora singoana. Ambora siguana sambura hane. Ambora singana mura sangara humba. Ane sigana bora sangre huna. Yambura sangre hina. Okay, so I don't know why I'm really getting that word strong. So Ghana is coming through. It is talking about the transatlantic slave trade, right? And a lot of the slaves actually went to Brazil and the Caribbean because here on North America there were already a lot of the Moors were here as well, and we originally come from North Africa, but these would be like the Aboriginals of America. So we're talking about now in the channel is that the gathering in Ghana, right? And so there were some ports in Ghana that brought some ships over of slaves into the Americas, but I think we're really truly talking about, of course, Caribbeans and Brazil, and also to North America, but more so there as well. Okay, so it's interesting. People don't know the slaves were not just brought over for some free labor. We already had indigenous people. It's all about feasting. Feast or famine is what I'm getting. Merchant ships, I'm getting. These people were chased to the west coast of Africa. So you know how they say that, oh, Black Americans are West African? No. You were chased to West Africa. You were originally in North Africa. You were originally in ancient Mesopotamia, modern day Iraq. There isn't Middle East. That's all still part of Africa. If you go back to the old maps. You were chased there. They already had set this up. They already knew that they were going to pick you up from Ghana. And I'm wondering why. And now if you look at Ghana, Ghana's popping now. And they are, oh God, this is getting big. They are telling Black Americans to go to Ghana and they can get a citizenship there. But they purposely chased us from North Africa, from Israel, from Egypt. Just follow the story of Yeshua, Jesus. And remember when the Israelites fled They purposely chased them down to West Africa. There's a reason why. And now we have Ghana kind of coming up. It's like so expensive there now because they've gotten a lot of Americans to come and feed into, into the system. Ghana primarily is located between the 5th and the 10th parallel. It is known for being near the center of the world. Interesting. So Ghana is the center of the world. I'm telling you that the Judaic people were chased to Ghana for a purpose. And they were taken from Ghana into the Americas, not because they needed slaves. We already had governments here. The Moors, the Aboriginals, we already had government. If you look up, we had like 7 presidents before we had a system here already. There were like 7 presidents before America actually was formed. We already were doing commerce and all of that prior to the formation of America, prior to slavery. But here's the thing. They already had people to work. They needed people to feast on too. And feast is not always feast with the mouth. You have to understand, they knew who they were taking. They were taking parts of the Christ light. They were taking the tribe of Judah, which Yeshua, Jesus, comes from. They already had this, since they've been battling the same energy since Lyra, since the inception of the light. Because remember, if we get the true light, if we get the light, then we'll have the truth. If we have the truth, then we know the way back home. Then this whole paradigm ends and they can't feast, and then they shrivel up and they die because they are parasitic energies. They needed people to feast off of. And the feast is, they needed to feast off of your energy, off of your labor, because remember, we in the matrix, one of the rules of engagement is when you come in here, you are energy and motion. When you stop, when your avatar stops, you die. So as sick as it is with the jealousy and the envy and not really wanting the Christ to thrive because of that, but in another way, it also needs to utilize the Christ light in order to survive because they are parasitic. It's like a moth to a flame, right? They are parasitic. They have to feed off of that life force that the Christ energy brings. But they don't want you to be all the way up here because then they will die. So they snuff out the Christ light and they keep it just base level so that there's a balance between what they can get and what we can receive. And so now I'm telling, I guess, my people of why do you feel that you're oppressed? Where does it truly come from? This is where it comes from. And it's before slavery. There's always a reason for things. This is where it comes from because they're looking for the Christ light. That's what they're looking for. They're going to lower it just enough so that they can also feast on it, but so that you don't, so that they can like take it and then ration it back out to you in the form of religion. When in fact you were already that, and all you have to do is just shine like every human being, because it's not, see, what you guys have to understand, it's everything's DNA. We all come from a single ancestor. We all have the Judaic code inside of us. We have this. So I don't subscribe to that it's only a certain group of people. Yes, right now I'm currently in the avatar of a Black American, right? So right now, yes, I'm Judah, but I remember 4 of my past lives. Well, in those lifetimes, I was of a different race. I was Caucasian in a lot of them. So what? Am I no longer Judah? No, I've always had these codes. This is what we have to understand, guys. This will be the hardest thing for people for people to get to, because we've been trained to think about, the look of this person or that person, the class of this person, right? When that's all a lie. It's all about DNA. They're looking for the Christ light. Is either you have it or you don't. It's either you are with the goodness and the lawfulness of the universe, or you are literally a Satan spawn. That's where we are. There isn't an in between. If you notice, people are either there or they're not. Do you notice what happened to all the people that used to be in the in between? The energies has been working. We have slowly, guys, people have been deciding. This is what the end of the age, the mirror does at the end of the age. It forces you into position. You have no choice. So there isn't an in between at this moment. Okay, Murande. So what else? So we channeled about Ghana, right? But now let's see what else Source wants to say. Mira sambura kingara, ambara sangara miwosha. Miro soma da singara mambora. Bamboa hanieta. Lamboa ea gona. Lelamboa shiamba, lea shiamba shianiaka. Yambora hayamboa hamboa. Speaking about that language, so I think I'm tapping into the language of the tribe, right? It's very like L. There's a lot of L's like in that speech. And it's very interesting because what do they call L's, right? L is Elohim, right? But then also we can think about the L, even within the Moors, right? And the Moorish culture, right? So everything is like El this, El Bay, El that, right? El Eliam, like, so there's a lot of L's. So it's just a confirmation that I am truly tapping into that indigenous, vibration. And so we are really matching up the people that we're speaking of, right, with the language, right? Okay. And this language also, too, has a gifting of teleportation as well. And, there is a difference between modern day Hebrew and ancient Hebrew as well. And I think that the original form had a lot of L's in it, and that's why everything refers to L, right? And, your speech is very important. Like certain ways that you move your mouth to produce certain, words and sequences has a vibration. That vibration is a code. That code, it now takes that code and now it checks the DNA and it looks for the same like code. And once it finds a match, this is how we can activate some of that dormant DNA and really expand that. And so part of the L vibration is a gifting of teleportation. So when we think about who the tribe of Judah, which really is a code, is a very, very powerful, supernatural. Remember when Jesus went to learn in the mystery schools? I believe that teleportation was one of those things. And it comes from, and this is the El Elyon, right? Is what I'm hearing. That language had a lot of L's in it, had a lot of teleportation energy as well. And it just goes back to Lyra. All of that stuff came from Lyra. Mirambosha. Mira bosarana morata. Imbara singara umbara sambuana. Yambara kimbora sambura simbora singara. Ombra Sunday. Ombra samoraka. Ombra samura sangara. Ombra sabura singara. Ondi. Ondi de sambu hona. Hona barakambara simbo. Shimboro sungara lerambona. Lalaboneaha. Lalaboha na mana sandi. Angera sambuana. Ina fona. Ina mura sandieta. Kambura sangara shimbona. Yimura kambura simbura. Nimura sambura hina. Nirangara sambura. Nirambara sangara sambura. Shumbara sangara mirande. Mansea na hinamba. Yambara hamboshi. Yambara singara shimbasa. Shimbasa kira shimbara singara. So the channel speaks about I see little roses sprouting, right, of the ones who carry the bloodline, like, all over. This is why people live in certain geographic locations, or why you just have the sudden urge to move, or wow, why there would be something that happens and you're forced to go, home, or forced to go over here. It's because there is a gathering, right, of the codes to activate other things. There's a gathering right now of your Judaic codes of the tribe of Judah, which truly are the Christ codes. So essentially, now it's even getting bigger. I'm not saying we can scrap the Judah, but I want us to expand now because the energy allows us to do that. It's saying that the Christ codes, right? This is what we are tapping into. And that light language I did really opened that up. And now I'm able to, like, really define that message and say, yes, it's truly about that Christ light, right? So all of this, the slave trafficking is how I hear it. It was a slave trafficking. So it's a trafficking, and there's a servitude aspect, slave trafficking. It was always to divide Israel from part of itself, so that it would be so scattered, so that it would never come together. And if it was scattered, then the fake Jews that worship in the synagogues of Satan can come in there and put on a hat and learn, some of our traditions and customs, and then psyop the world into giving them billions of dollars and trillions of dollars, into bullying literally nations, for their manifest destiny, which is, not of God. Because God, you don't need to manifest if it's truly coming from source. Peep that message for everyone. If it's truly coming from source, there's no need to man I fest. Man I feast. That's lower vibrational manifesting right there. I just broke the etymology of that word down. That's lower vibrational. If you just sit within the energy, get out of this death and destruction energy field, and with all of the naysayers, and get into the energy field of the light of the Christ vibration, activating your Judaic, your Christ light from within. It's the Christ DNA that's coming online. This is what I'm getting. And so this is why you are where you are. Someone say, I am where I am because I hold the Christ light and consciousness. That is why you are there. And so now it makes me understand how being, complacent and being like, oh, I want to leave and I want to do this and that. There's a time for everything. Sometimes there's a time for gathering. There's a great gathering happening within your DNA, within your communities, within your cities and states and countries where you are stationed. You are stationed right now, chosen one. And I know if you're on this channel, you're a chosen one. You would not even be interested in this vibration if you weren't. So I want you guys to understand that the Christ light and DNA, right? As we talk about this Judaic DNA, it is coming online. It's activating. We're all getting closer together. They know that. We are teleporting ourselves. This is how we're using the teleportation. We are calling ourselves back together as a collective soul body. So this teleportation that was in the channel a moment ago now makes sense. Is when you have that sudden urge to move, or you just have to go, to this city for something. You just decide to stay, or you don't have money to leave. That's part of the teleportation. Like, it's all bringing everyone back, synced in together. They know that. They have to manifest destiny from sea to shining sea. They have to do that because they need control of the grids, and which is why they are in Iran. They need the grid. They need the grid because there's too many people. The great gathering has happened. There's too many of us gathering. You and we might not even know, but this is what Source is saying in this moment. Too much of a gathering. And possibly, maybe there was too much of a gathering in Iran as well. There is a too much of a gathering right now where I am. That's why they want all of the internet, the new this and that. There's too much of a gathering. in the United States of America. There's too much of a gathering in the UK. There's too much of a gathering in Australia. There's too much gathering in parts of the Caribbean. There's too much gathering in Taiwan. The gathering is, remember, the individual ascension of collective rising. We're getting closer to rise back up, leaving the world behind, leaving them behind in Sheol, in what we call hell. They're in a negative dimension, and they're broadcasting their frequency through the negative thought forms, and they are controlling their bots out here within the matrix, the elites. And so in that regards, every single one of these people are cyborg, have, an attachment, or not really attachment. They have the consciousness of something living in a negative dimension. That's why you're only going to get death and destruction. This is what is happening in the spirit with this, guys. There was someone at my father's repast, right, where we all went and ate after and all of that. She just walks up to me. And because I spoke, I gave a bit of a teaching. I always have to teach. Everywhere I go, I gave a bit of a teaching, really 5-minute teaching at the funeral. It was beautiful. I introduced people to the breath of life. They really liked that. She walked up to me, so she was telling me how much she enjoyed that. Then she starts to tell me a story. She was like, there was a ship. She said she called it something SS something. I'm not sure she was talking. It wasn't the SSR. It was something else. She said, and I had, God spoke to me, and I think she's talking about this war. She said that they were entering under the water, attaching bombs to the ships. And this is how they were defeating people in the war. I don't know this woman. She was probably in her 80s, if not 90s. Just walked up to me and told me that, and then walked away. I knew instantly why I needed that message. US Navy should be careful. Remember a week ago or so, I said there's something in that water there. It's not just the portals. The portals are in the water. Elites are trying to escape through those portals. They better be careful. Because if what this woman told me has any credence, then they could go under the water to attach bombs to the ships. So if you have anyone in the Navy, they need to be on the lookout of that. Because Iran has already pulled out some AI stuff, some drones. Baby, I'm impressed. I hate the loss of life because it never had to happen. But people should be able to defend themselves. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So they have to be careful that they do not attach bombs from under the water. And maybe they might even lure the Americans to the water. Is there a water port or something that, remember the sea to shining sea? That manifest destiny energy we've been picking up on? They want the sea to shining sea. That greed, which, remember, Judah once displayed. So now it's like a mirror, right? So now the Judah was once, remember the Mali Empire, Mansa Musa, the richest man in history. And that was all the gold, all the wealth, but the haughtiness, right? So you have to have the humble, and then you were brought into captivity and everything that we just described, right? But now we get it on the other end. Now we have this Esau template playing out where now they want to pop into haughtiness and want more and more and more and more instead of living for today, instead of taking what you need. This is how people should live. Live for today, right? Eat for today, taking what you need and leaving the rest, and allowing, something for nature to consume as well, to recycle, right? That's how we are supposed to live. We're not supposed to be, I got this, this 100-year plan, and I'm going to hoard everything. So I have all the reasons for 100 years. I mean, come on, religion. Aren't you the creators of religion? God provides daily, right? God takes care of the birds. Why would it not take care of you, man? These things aren't coming from God. These prophecies are not being fulfilled by God. A prophecy is a prophecy, but who is fulfilling that? It's not God fulfilling it. So people will get tricked where they think that the storm is over when it has not even begun yet, because God has to be the one that calls the shots. They can't force and fake and lie their way into fulfilling biblical prophecy. And it's only a prophecy, right? Because they told us that it was. And when they fulfill it, they are against the cosmos, because they are stepping in and they are impersonating the divine. You don't think there's no spiritual, like judgment for that? Impersonating the divine, impersonating the hands of God, impersonating the Most High, when in fact it's the lesser God. There's justice. There always is when you zone out. So there's nothing that you need to do. All you need to do is keep transmuting it through the heart, because that is the secret place of the Most High. That's where the Christ lamp sits. That's your power. Gaining back access to all of your spiritual technology is right there. But when you hold on to things, you're holding them in the lower chakras, then you will be on the vibration of, these entities that say that they are elites, and they're not. But rather they live in hell or a negative dimension, and they're just broadcasting their signal because they are non-corporeal spirits. There's so much more I could go with this channel, I could go a lot deeper with this channel. Yeah, someone says Iran is doing more with less, putting the Americans to shame. It's sad. I'm just like, do not show that on the news, because what does China think of us now? And that's why you can't be so haughty. So remember what I said the first time. All the energies will meet you at the end of the age. You can't fake it. So as of, the Israelites, hey, baby, you got the 400 years, you got the 400 years of captivity. That it kind of is what it is, but no one forced God's hand for them to enslave you and kill you and eat you and all that. That was still their own doing. But now we got the haughtiness on the other end. Now what? Esau is experiencing the haughtiness. Now we got, Trump being so, this man is so like, I don't know, his confidence is through the roof, girl. The arrogance, I don't know. That he doesn't even realize that he's making America look bad. He's so trying to prove that they got this. Well, no, these people don't even have the height. How are these people gonna, first of all, they're bombing us with drones. They're like, there's been more Americans passing away than they're letting you know. They don't even have all the equipment. So how they got all these nuclear explosives if right now they can only fight you with AI and tricks and drones? It doesn't make sense, because it's a lie. It's just fabricated for their manifest destiny plan, the greater Israel. That's it. And then they pull America in on it, and they use our tax dollars. Remember, I said there would come a day where you would have to renounce your American citizenship in the spiritual realm, because your hands are also dirty. And this will be the hardest thing. The hardest things that humanity is going through, that we're going to have to let go of. The hardest things will be those fundamental things that makes you you. Like, wow, like being so proud to be an American, like that is a thing. Like, like the 4th of July, like that's a thing in this country, especially when you go out of the country, like people ask you where you're from, like they're even excited that you're American. It is a thing that is revered, or maybe it once was. I don't know how people look at it now, but letting go of that identity because the hands of the nation is dirty and it's the Epstein energy that we live under. We have been living under. And so this is on our hands. We have to release that. And that means renouncing that of what you know. Because truly we are infinite and we belong to a cosmic, a cosmic university. We belong to every place. We've had multiple existences that span, different galaxies. And then letting go of the race. That's going to be another hard thing that was also given to you. Race was actually a class. It was a classification. And, the Moors used to be classified as white, when they were ruling here in America and within Europe as well. So it's a class. That is where that came from. It was never a skin color, because remember, the whole world was divided in tribes. There wasn't any sort of, if you go to Africa right now and you tell an African that they're black. No, they're not black. They are whatever, Ashanti. They are whatever their tribe is. They don't use words like that. It's only when they have to come to the West that they have to understand really quick that they kind of got to get in line with that, only to like understand how the system works. But that doesn't work over there. They don't have that, you know? So that's a lie. Everything was tribes. And I'll go even deeper about the tribes. It's not even about the tribes, it's about the DNA. That's what it's about. It's about the DNA. And I'll take it one step further. It is about either you have the Christ DNA or you're spawn of Satan. That's what this whole thing is about. So the return, right? I wanted to say the return of the Jedi. The return of Christ is you. Once you get this knowledge and you understand and you release that, oh, I'm from this nation. Oh, I'm, even male or female, because that naturally will put limitations on yourself or how people perceive you. Releasing those things, the race that they gave us, the political affiliation, which, like my father, told me, the political affiliation, Democrat, Republican, all of these, all of these are no, I'm sorry, not that, but the different religions, right? Like Protestant, right? Like, Catholic and all of that. These are political parties. So like before, like just the Democrat and Republican, it was broken up into like these different houses of church, right? These different sort of forms of, Christianity. Those were political parties. That's also fake and false. And we know political parties, all they want is their agenda. And that's not of source, because it's a separation, their agenda. No, it should be our agenda. What is good for the collective, right? So let's see what else. I'll get one more message. Right now, there's kind of a lot happening, but there's an embodiment of this new energy, right? And in some regards, like, it's like the old energy has to leave so that the new energy and the new vessels can embody. A lot of star seeds were coming since 1972, is what I'm hearing, for this season. There was a call that went out, and you can choose to answer it through upgrading your DNA. But the call that went out, and that the ones that answered the call, sorry guys, when I be channeling, I be forgetting just as soon as I channel, out the window. I don't hold on to any of this stuff, right? I just channel it and I let it go. So if somebody knows what I was just saying, please let me know. Sometimes the channel be, oh, okay. So here's the thing. The star seeds were coming in since 1972 to embody something very important. I'm feeling it right now. There is a deep activation happening. Like just I sat there right now, it's like a deep energetic activity happening because what I popped into the Christ field. Did you guys feel that this whole time we were popping into the Christ field by explaining it? You don't get to the field by not understanding something. You don't get into the field that you want to be in, for prosperity, right? Not necessarily manifestation. You can't get into that field without understanding, innerstanding, right? Not under, but innerstanding. And so as Source is breaking this down, now we understand more about the Christ light. It's returning through you, right? It's a solar return through you. So the people that came since 1972, this energy that I'm feeling right now, they had the capacity to hold it, to transmute the other energies, and to hold the Christ light and vibration. And this is why you are stationed where you are, in the city, in the town, in the country that you are, in the position that you are, whether you are middle class, upper middle class, rich, or lower class, or even homeless. You are supposed to be right there because we are all in position and they know it. That's why they have to manifest their destiny to get more control over stargates, over portals, over anything that will activate you more. Because we need access to these things, because this is how we're going to transmute. This is how we're going to get extracted. And there's something very important about the sea. They're trying to block the extraction portals, is what I'm getting. Have you ever thought to yourself that the reason why the earth was, so to speak, flooded in the days of Noah? Have you ever stopped to think of why that is coming through in this moment? Like I'm getting flooded with consciousness. Because you are water. You're mostly water. The water in your body is consciousness. So you are being flooded with consciousness because there's more like light awareness coming in. There's more stargates that are opening up to us. So we're activating it within our DNA and we don't even know it. There's more portals that we have access to. So it's a flood of consciousness. Sometimes when you know what you know, and you know a lot, because remember, I say we know too much. Sometimes it does cause a flood because the old paradigm has to go down with the ship, so to speak. This Iranian war has to happen because the old paradigm has to go down with the ship. America will go down with the ship. That's what I'm getting. Yeah. And there's something will happen to some ships. We can pray against it for sure. Absolutely. Watch those waters. There's something very important about the waters because it's about hiding the extraction points. That's what it's about, because everything has to come back into oneness. If Judah was taken, What do you think Judah has to return to? And if Judah has all of these technology, all the tribes of Israel, which is in your DNA, everyone, every person of substance and of divine consciousness, then we have to return back there. Because we are activators, and the land is an activation. What do you think happens? They know that you've already received your marching orders to march back home. You are greater Israel. And everything is twofold. It's inside and out. When you do it inside, then it is expressed outside, because that's just the law of the duality and polarities that we live in. Yeah. You are an activator, and the land over there, the stargates, the portals, the grid is an activation. When that comes back together, that Rebecca being pregnant with Esau and Jacob, fighting in the womb, we are fixing that timeline. Why did the star seeds come? To fix that timeline. Because that timeline is a death and destruction timeline. Two brothers fighting in a womb is water. The womb is made of water. Two brothers fighting over stargates is still fighting in the womb, because this is a womb that we're in. We're in a cosmic womb. We are Jacob and Esau fighting in the womb still. This is deep. This is really deep. Thank you, guys. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hi, everyone. I'm in the comments, right? I think I'm gonna leave the channel there because, I'll let it speak for itself. It's very deep. It truly is, but I like the fact that it brought a lot of this stuff full circle that we've been, kind of exploring in some of the other channels. Hi. Hi, sister. Sister Tracy. Miss Angel. Hi, Sister Angel. April. Keisha. Hi, Keisha. Hi, Rosie. Baby girl Little Bet. I love that name. George Lopez. Randy. Hi, Miss Randy. Hi, everyone. Natalie. Sister Natalie. Hi. Everyone else, please don't let, if I missed you, I'm so sorry. Hello. Vicky, every single person, Jazzy, thank you all for being here today. That is the channel, guys. I think I am going to leave this one right here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.